the Enterprise Digital Podcast with Ian and Barclay Ray, navigating the ever-expanding service management maze.
Hello, we are recording. Yes, this is the Enterprise Digital Podcast calling once more from the dark side of the moon, perhaps. I don't know. I'm Barclay Ray, and I think it's Ian Aitchison that joins me on this. Is that right?
It
Ian?
is. Hello.
Yeah.
There is no dark side of the moon, Barclay. You know that. There is no dark side of the moon.
Yeah, I know. Ian, how are you keeping these days? Are you well? Are you in good spirits?
Yes, as the Lego movie famously said, everything is awesome. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. At this point, it has become a traditional element that we talk about matters trivial, and usually that's driven by some weird things that you find on the internet. What have you got today?
Nothing weird, actually. It's just small news trivia, a very short one today. I observed with interest, I missed it a week or two back, that the UK government recently announced a quantum leap. Did you know this, Barclay? Quantum leap. We have announced that the UK aims to become the first country in the world committed to making and deploying quantum computers at scale by the early 2030s. A raft of support measures worth up to $2 billion to establish the UK as a world leader in quantum computing, and skills and talent and research and procurement programs around it. It's easy to be cynical about these things. Governments can announce anything, and they always do. I just think it's nice that governments are setting visions of where they want to be, whether they succeed in that or not. It's very positive, and I was just pleased to see that. Damn right. Let's try and, in the UK, get ahead in quantum computing.
Well, that would be very welcome. We do have some. We're definitely up there. I was looking at one of those things the other day that said how many large data centers there are in different, and the US has got 4,500 or something, and everybody else is nowhere near that. But I think we were third or something. I think we had 400. Germany was 500. Everybody else way down. So it's nice to know that we're out there somewhere. I mean, the US obviously leads in this particular area very strongly globally, but good to hear. And there's nothing unpleasant or vulgar
No, nothing vulgar this week, nothing unpleasant, no insects, no brain cells. I just thought that was a nice little story. Very good.
It is indeed. Okay, so this week we don't have a guest. We're going to have a short discussion, but what we're here to do really is just quick preview and a quick discussion around what we are going to be doing at SITS, the Service Desk and IT Support Show, and also the MSP show, which will be in London on, I think it's the 13th and 14th, or the 14th and 15th of May. It's the 13th and 14th of May. We look forward to see many of you there for that. We have got quite a privileged little offering of stuff that we're going to be doing, which we'll tell you about now. Normally, just on the business side, we'd have a booth, a stand for the consulting company, Barclay Consulting. We were not going to do that this year. We are going to be focusing on doing interviewing and videos, and then that's all going to culminate in our keynote presentation on the second day. But just for information, I and Steve Cave will both be available and around, and we'll be dotting in and out. We'll be on the SDI stand for some of the time during the show, so we'll be there and available to talk if anybody wants. But we're going to have a little place where we've got a film crew and a nice little backdrop, and we're going to do as many interviews as we can and discussions as we can, and we're going to be asking some questions of people, because so there's a little bit of data capture research that we're going to do that's going to help to feed our presentation. And we will obviously use that as part of our discussion, although it's not a show and tell about the results. It's just some inputs. And we'll try and capture some of that in advance of the show as well. So there'll be social media going out with the opportunity for people that maybe aren't going to the show. But when you come and see us, we'll have a little iPad, I think, and just go through a few questions. And just try and pick up where people are, what they're thinking about at this particular time. Would you like to give us a taste of what some of those questions are? We don't need to go through them all in detail, but what sort of questions are we going to be asking people, Ian?
Yeah, so this is a bit like having a live meeting, isn't it? Because we're discussing what we're going to be asking people in this new survey, which will help feed into parts of, what are we calling it? Enterprise Digital, the keynote on day 2 at SITS. Yeah, we're very excited about that. So we wanted to bring to that some live or certainly timely input from as many people as we can. So, as you say, we're going to ask people questions. The first question we're going to be asking people is, congratulations, you have won £100,000, dollars, euros, currency of your choice, but you can only spend it on one thing to improve your service delivery. Will you spend it on technology and tools, brackets, AI, close brackets? Will you spend it on people change, more people, less people, different people? Or will you spend it on skilling up the people that you have? Or something else? That's our first question we're going to be asking, we think.
So that's an interesting question, I think, in terms of just focus. So it's not, we're not saying you personally winning 100,000, it's your organization, and you're the one that has to decide where the money goes. But yeah, what are you going to do with it? And it's sort of, I suppose a lot of people at SITS will be there because they might be thinking about buying tools. But I think we can also, highlight the point that, and it comes up, in fact, I'm going to be doing a session with Stephen Mann shortly at another event where we're talking about, do people really need to buy new tools? Because they tend to blame their old tools for, challenges that aren't actually to do with the tools themselves. But, might it be better to spend some money on, another person or two or a new role, or just get people trained and certified? And there's no right or wrong answer to that. It's just like we are.
That's right. I think it's interesting because some people may feel, look, we have the right people, we have the right tools, we just need to skill ourselves up, or we can do an amazing job, and we're unable to. So that would be great. Other people might be thinking it's just time to bring in a magic wand and drop some new tech on top of what we have. And others might be thinking, if I only had twice as many people, if we doubled everything that we're doing, we could do an amazing job. So I think it's kind of interesting just to hear what people say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good start to pretend.
Another question, there's a little bit of reference to AI inevitably. What doesn't have reference to AI? One of the questions is, has AI made a difference to your service delivery? So have you introduced new features, capabilities, chatbots, or whatever it may be, that have improved the level of service that you deliver? That's interesting because there's two levels of answer. There's, yes, we have introduced new AI features, and then within that, it's made a difference or it hasn't. Or the other answer is, no, we haven't. So that'll be really interesting to see what people say on that.
And also to understand, I suppose we can have that conversation when we're doing the interviews about how they've measured that. What have they done to identify that it's made a difference? It's not just, is it just ad hoc? Is it just, people saying, oh yeah, it's great? Or is it actually something?
Yeah, that's right, because you can draw out all sorts of interesting insights from this. And I hope we'll speak to some people that do say, we have made a fantastic difference. We've really made a difference. Because I think the rest of the industry would love to hear these examples. I'm not doubting them. I'd love to hear more and more of the impact that may be happening out there that doesn't get widely distributed. So I hope we'll hear about those. Shall I tell you the next question, Barclay?
Go on then.
Oh, we love a bit of trivia. Best sandwich. Seriously, why not? Bacon, cheese, or cucumber? So that's going to be one of the questions. Moving on. Now, in our keynote exercise that you and I will be doing on stage, we'll be talking about some of the big shifts in our industry we have seen or are happening at the moment or are coming up, the big waves that come in. And one wave that comes in every few years is the next evolution / iteration of everybody's favorite industry best practice guidance, ITIL, and we have ITIL version 5 now. So we asked just a little question about people's perception and view of the new ITIL version 5 incoming wave, and what their thoughts are on that in very brief and light-hearted responses.
Well, that'll be interesting. There's been so much kind of content going out, particularly on LinkedIn, and it's generally been very positive. It's just when you get to the next stage, there's a lot of people who are professionally doing, have a need to get the certifications. The next stage of actually people in organizations doing it, and have they seen any difference, or does it look to different people as well? That's another aspect.
Well, that's partly it. And you talk about seeing lots of information about it in LinkedIn. Of course, there is the inevitable filter bubble effect. So you will always see lots of information about it. And I see a fair amount of information about it. There may be quite a lot of people that see a lot less. And that'll be interesting to know. How much is it visible? How aware are people of this new ITIL version 5 rolling changes that are coming to the industry? So I think that's going to be good. There's a question about why you do the job that you do. There's a love of people, love of solving problems, love of technical things, love of money, love of coming into a workplace that's really, really stressful. That's not one of the answers. So we'll be asking some questions about, so those are like questions we're going to be gathering information on before the show, and particularly during the show. I'll be there with iPad and microphone and camera, I think, at various points as well as yourself, Barclay. So we'll be grabbing people as they go past and asking those questions. And then we'll see some of the answers when we do our keynote on day 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just worth saying, we're interested in people's opinions. If you want to do a little chat, or you've got something to say, or anything where you want to just express some input to the industry, then please, we're going to be very visible. We'll be in the middle of the hall, next to the SDI and ITSM stands. We'll be there for the whole of the first day and the morning of the second, just with this camera crew and looking for feedback. I think the survey is so one of the things. I mean, we have been doing this podcast for 5 years now, so we will be reflecting on that. Yeah, we have. Yeah, and we haven't changed it. I mean, obviously, I'm looking a bit younger, but thank goodness we didn't actually do the videos in the early days, although we do have.
Yeah, it's a shame, really, isn't it? Yeah.
The thing is that we can reflect on what's happened, in terms of people coming on, opinions and ideas that we've seen in those 5 years, but we're also collecting real time now information about feedback, what people are thinking, what they're concerned about, etc. in the industry. So it'll be a little bit of a mix of those, and then we can draw from that some things for the industry to go forward,
Which is kind of what we tend to do on this podcast anyway, isn't it? We sort of bring on good guests that give us interesting insights, and we reflect on what we're observing and what the future seems to be bringing in. So do it for real.
We certainly do, and there's always a bit of trivia and fluff and whimsy just to add a little bit of nonsense to the whole occasion. So I'm sure we'll find something clean, not vulgar, not unpleasant to talk about in terms of trivia. So that's what we're doing. We look forward to, you can register for free to go to the SITS and MSP shows.
Which where are they this year? Same place as usual?
Same place, the Excel Exhibition Centre in London, in the just sort of eastern area, but it's very accessible because of the Lizzie line, the Elizabeth line that's there now, and it goes straight from Heathrow basically to there, or certainly central London in minutes. So it is accessible, and it's always popular. It's busy. I mean, their tagline is where people come to do business. People meet up and engage and so on. So we're looking forward to it, and look forward to seeing a few of you there. Any final thoughts on that, Ian, in terms of what we're planning to do or what we might get out of it? At the end.
You covered the main points. Inevitably, I'm looking forward to catching up with lots of people, because that always seems to happen. And I'd really like to make some time to see some of the many sessions that are going on around the outside of the show floor, with everybody's got their little headphones on, listening to this like a silent disco without the dancing, thankfully. But some of those are really good. Some of those are really good and well worth watching. That's
always the thing that people like going, because it is free and it is like getting, a free conference as well as being able to talk to all the big vendors. So we're looking forward to that. We'll see you there, and we'll see you also next time on the Enterprise Digital Podcast. Thanks very much.
Thank you.